Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, my name is Maz, and I guess most of you are new since I'm new myself. Today I want to talk to you about what I've most recently gone through, and that is going from 1 to 2 kids. It's a game changer, I can tell you that. So today I'd like to share my journey with you and what I found so far, along with tips and tricks to help you if you're in a similar situation. So let's get started. So we've got Scarlett, who is 2, and Brooks, who is 4 months old, but he looks like a 6-month-old. He's a big bubba. Life is just busy. It's different this time round. You don't have a chance to put the baby down and go have a nap because you've got a toddler to look after. You know, in some ways it's been easier and some ways it's been harder. I remember the first time with Scarlett, it took me a long time to start cooking, to stop napping during the day, which sometimes it actually makes me feel worse having a nap during the day. The second time around, you just have to keep going. You don't have a chance to go to sleep. Brooks is also a bit of a fussy baby, so that's been an adjustment in itself. Scarlett was very relaxed, chilled. She would be a very happy baby in between, whereas Brooksy boy likes to be in your arms all the time. That's made it pretty hard, just because you do have Scarlett that you need to attend to still. I have to put him down to make her lunch, to put her in the high chair, to change her nappy, and usually he's crying during it. Now that he's 4 months old, he is so much better, but he still requires a lot of attention. If I put him down, he might last 5 minutes just to play on his own, and that just gives me enough time to prepare something for Scarlett. And going out is still hard at the moment, just because he is a bit of a fussier baby. I found I like to write lists the day before and write it all down while it's in my mind, so that in the morning when I'm going out I don't forget something. That's really helped, and even things that I can put in the car the night before just makes it a whole lot easier as well. So the next part that I'd like to go through is, I guess, just the different phases that we've been in so far, and tips for preparing for a second baby, when the baby comes home, those first few weeks, and after those first few weeks when you're home alone. Before the second baby comes, get what you can organized. You know, get your bag packed, get that nursery done, get that second car seat installed, and meal prep. The first time you may have meal prepped for yourself, got all those great meals in the freezer for you to put in the oven when you need to. But this time you need to think about your toddler as well. Can you prep some meals and put it in the freezer for them as well? In regards to your toddler, organize who is going to be looking after them. Make sure, are they comfortable with them? If they are going to be having a sleepover with the grandparents, have a trial session beforehand, and that's a good opportunity for you to get some time to yourself before the second one comes as well. Also make sure you have a bag packed for your toddler. Have enough clothes for at least 2 days, and give someone keys to your house just in case you do forget something, so they can come home and grab something for your toddler if you need to. If you are moving your toddler into a new bedroom, make sure that you give them time to adjust. Do it at least a couple of months beforehand, so that if you have any problems you can iron it out. And lastly, spend some quality time with your toddler. Do activities that you may not be able to do with a newborn. I know that some people feel guilty about bringing a second baby home and how their relationship may change with their firstborn. I never really felt that way, because I think coming from a family of 4, I just know that having siblings is so much fun and it will be great in the long term. And speaking of quality time, spend some time with your partner. Go out for a dinner date. Go do something that just the two of you can do. Get your toddler babysat by someone and have a sleepover, practice run, and have a sleep in yourself, because who wants to look after 2 kids? It's going to be even harder than having to ask just for 1 child. Next is your baby's come and you've got your hospital visit. So something simple like buying a gift from the toddler to the baby and the baby to the toddler works great. I think Scarlett being only 20 months, it didn't really help heaps. But it was nice to just have her come to the hospital and open a gift while she was there. Another really big tip is if you are able to, have your toddler come and visit you while your baby is sleeping. So Scarlett came to visit twice in the hospital. The first time the baby was asleep, then he woke up, and when I was feeding, all Scarlett wanted was to be on my lap, and that was really hard, and she got really upset. So the second visit, we planned that I had just fed him, I had just put him to sleep, and then she came over. And because in those new days, they do sleep for hours at a time, I had an outside courtyard, and it was February, it was summer. So she was able to come out in the courtyard and have a play, and she had my full attention, which leads me coming home and those first few weeks. So coming home, again, it would be great if someone can look after your toddler and you and your partner come home, settle in, bring your baby in and feed your baby, put them back to sleep, and then have your toddler come home. It just allows them to spend some time with you, walk in, and not see you holding the baby straight away. In those first few weeks, be kind to yourself, get those freezer meals out, even get some freezer meals out for your toddler. You know, Annabelle Carmel, she makes really nice dishes now which are suitable for toddlers, and Scarlett loves them. Also, in those first few weeks where you may be a bit housebound, are you able to ask someone to take your toddler out for a couple of hours to not only give yourself a break, but have the toddler spend some quality time outside or doing an activity they love and use up their energy. Also, use a sling or a carrier where possible. Again, because Brooks was a pretty unsettled baby, he always wanted to be held, but having him in a sling or a carrier just meant that I was able to keep up with Scarlett and still have him with me all the time. This one is probably the hardest to do, but is probably the most beneficial, and that is when the babies sleep in the middle of the day, do your meal prep for that night. So either cut up all your veggies, cut up your meat, so that in the evening all you need to do is just cook it up. Or if you can, make the whole dinner during the day and just heat it up at nighttime. There's been so many times where witching hours hit and I didn't prepare anything. So I had a crying baby, a toddler who wanted my attention because it was the end of the day, and I was there cooking dinner. Next, stay consistent with your toddler's sleep times. So Scarlett is happy to go to sleep herself and loves going to bed, so we are really lucky there. But also keep the nighttime routine consistent. We continue to give Scarlett a bath, read her book, she had her milk, and then went to sleep. And also, if you do have bath time, bath them together if possible, or involve your toddler in bathing the baby. So after the first few weeks and your husband's gone, your partner's gone back to work, and you're home alone, these are my tips for you now. Firstly, do online shopping. It is great. Something we have here is click and collect. So even if it's not delivered to your house, they offer a free service where they bring your groceries straight to your car. And that's worked really well when Tim's coming home from work. He drives past Coles, they load it up into his car, and then he comes home. It's only an extra 5-10 minutes out of his way, but it saves me going to the shops with both kids. One thing I found that really helped us is going for an afternoon walk and have Brooks do his nap at that point. So we just go for a 30-minute walk. Scarlett loves being in the pusher when we are actually walking, and it's a really great chance for me to get out of the house. Another tip is play outside wherever possible. So when Brooks was born, it was summer. So while he napped, we spent our time outside, and Scarlett has always loved being outside. So this was just another great thing for us to do. Childcare. If you are able to and you'd like to send your child to childcare, I think it's a great option. They do so many activities there that you may never do at home, and it keeps them stimulated and they have a great time. Or ask their grandparents, can they take them out for a couple of hours or a day? Not only do they get to bond with their grandparents, but you get to bond with the baby yourself. So these are just tips for during the day when you are home. Whenever I fed Brooks, Scarlett always wanted to be right next to me. So before a feed came along, I would pop the TV on or get a basket of toys that are different to what she usually plays with. So I bought these little bits and pieces beforehand so that she's never seen them before, and that did really help. Also, depending on their age, if they are able to pick out their own snacks, have your snacks in a place where it's easily accessible to them. And naps were really hard to do and to figure out. So in the start, Brooks needed to be rocked to sleep, so it would usually take about 10-15 minutes to actually get him to sleep. Then he may only do another 10-15 minutes and wake up again, and then I'd be in his room resettling. So I found that part really hard. But now that he is older, he's 4 months old, he is starting to self-settle for most of his naps. He's still waking up at 30 minutes, he's doing those cat naps, but now because I know he wakes up at 30 minutes, around that time I will get Scarlett set up. Either get her a new activity to do, get her those toys that she's never seen, just so that I can have a couple of minutes to run in his room without her following me. And the next thing that I do is I always tell her what I'm doing. So if I'm going into his room to put him to sleep, I will say, Mummy is just going to see Brooks right now, or Mummy's going to the toilet, or Mummy's making a coffee, or Mummy's going to feed Brooks. I found the times where I would try to sneak away, she would figure out I'm not there within minutes, and she would just cry and yell through the house seeing where I was. And that's it, guys. That's my tips and my journey so far. It is a busy time, but that's just the season that we're in right now, and that's okay. And I know the second time around things don't last forever, so these cat naps will finish one day, and the evening times, the witching hours, it will end one day, and hopefully we'll all have a lot more fun together, and imagine them playing one day together. I can't wait. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I will see you next time. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and if you've got any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks, bye.